Forget paternity leave. New York is talking about giving your pet their own slice of sick time. Welcome back to Beyond the Bill Number, where this week we're asking a surprisingly big question. Are pets family when it comes to the workplace and workplace leave? Today's bill is a bit furrier than most. New York lawmakers are considering a proposal that would let workers use their paid sick time to take care of their pets. Stephen, I have to ask, are we really talking about vet visits as a matter of labor law?
Yes, I think we are. Sorry, I'm a little bit distracted at the moment because I have my particular pet here.
Oh,
I thought we start with
hello.
pets. This is
Oh my gosh, he's
this
handsome.
is Python Manning. He's a very healthy, handsome Python, a big Broncos fan, as you might expect with the name. And yes, he's just waking up, starting to explore a little bit.
This is Benedict, named after Benedict Cumberbatch, the best
Ah,
of
of
all
course,
Sherlock Holmes.
absolutely. I can see the resemblance.
I have had to actually take a little bit of sick time one time for Benny because he got a bot fly in him. And
Oh.
we didn't know what it was, and it wasn't healing, and I don't like blood. And my husband was like, I'm not sure what it is. And I was like, I don't know, it's been like 2 weeks. I think we need to bring him to the vet. And the vet was like, oh yeah,
Mm.
there's a bot fly living in there. And we
Oh.
decided that now we don't like our yard pet named Felix, the bunny, because
Mm.
apparently botflies like to hang around bunny dens. And so
I
now
can
we don't let
imagine.
Benny be around him, and we've been botflyless, but we
Oh.
had to bring him to the doctor and get that
Mm.
extracted. But he was a very brave
Good.
boy.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, luckily, Python Manning's always been quite healthy. He had a few problems with shedding occasionally, but he seems fine. But my previous snake, very tragic story.
Oh,
Corn snake I had, he committed suicide. His self-harmed it was all
wait,
quite
how does
tragic.
that happen?
Well, he managed to wedge himself into the his vivarium. He had a light, a sort of heat lamp fitting, and he managed to wedge himself over the top of that, and
Uh-huh.
so he was just like completely squashed in the middle. And I took him to the vet, and they were like, "Oh no, it's all his bones are broken. It's not going, it's not going to work." And we had to have him put down. Yeah, it's all
Aww.
very sad, but I'm sure it was deliberate because I can see another reason why I could do it.
Right, that's on purpose for sure.
Yes,
Benny, stay
yes,
away from the
definitely.
heat lamps, buddy.
But luckily, I repositioned the heat lamp for Python Manic, and he's been fine.
Okay, okay.
I mean, he gets a little bit grumpy occasionally, but
Yeah.
that is basically his normal state, personally,
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, Benny's a little grumpy in the mornings when he doesn't get his walkies, but we call those his daily acts of love when we take him on
Yeah,
his little walkies.
absolutely.
But Benny got a ticket yesterday for being off leash at the park playing fetch, so have to get a
Oh,
different
yeah.
leash that runs
How's he
for
going to pay
50
for
feet with
that? Let's
him.
put him to work.
I know, Benny, start
Mhm.
modeling. You need a only paws. Put these little
Yes,
paws out there.
only pause. Yes, yes.
Okay, so back to the task at hand, this podcast and legislation and bills, and not just our really adorable pets. What is
Yeah.
this bill that we're talking about today?
Well, so Assembly Bill A791, which is better known as the Sick Leave for Pets Care Act, was introduced in the 2025-2026 New York General Assembly by Assembly member Manny de los Santos and 9 Democratic
Okay.
co-sponsors. It tweaks the state's labor law 196-B so that if Fluffy needs shots or Fido needs surgery, you can use your already accrued sick leave to cover it. No new days, just a new use.
Interesting. Okay, so walk me through what the bill actually does. Is it just as simple as pets count now, too?
Yeah, pretty much actually. It's quite simple. So right now, New York law lets you use sick leave for your own illness, to care for a family member, or to address issues related to domestic violence. So this bill adds covered animals, which are pets that you legally own and keep for companionship or service animals, to that list. You could take leave for diagnosis, care, treatment, or even preventative care like routine checkups. And if it passes, it would take effect immediately.
Wow, that sounds very straightforward, and this is also something that always makes me me very thankful for my job because I just put my status as vet office and I go to the vet and
Yep.
I don't have to worry about clocking that in or out. But what is the case that lawmakers are making here? Is it just that we need to put a paw print into statute?
Yes. Well, the argument has four strong legs. First, most Americans have pets. Somewhere between two-thirds and 70% of households actually have pets. So that's tens of millions of animals that sometimes need care during working hours. Second, vet care is expensive and delaying it isn't humane or safe, especially with service animals. Third, workers shouldn't have to choose between their paycheck and their pet's health. And finally, this doesn't actually expand the leave entitlement. It just broadens how you can use what you already have.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of seems like a win for workers and their pets and for businesses. But I assume not everyone is wagging their tails over this. What are the skeptics saying?
Yes, there are critics. So they raise two main issues. First, verification. How does an employer confirm that your parrot actually needs those antibiotics? The current sick leave law doesn't usually require paperwork for humans. So adding it for pets could actually be quite messy. And that's, it's a good reason, isn't it? Because if you think a human being is swinging the lead, as we might say, you're not actually genuinely sick, then you can always say, bring me a note from your doctor. Obviously, it's a bit more difficult with pets. Second, there's scope creep. So once you say pets count, where do you stop? The bill does define covered animals quite narrowly, so no farm animals, not those crocodiles that live in the sewers. But some employers still worry that it would complicate staffing. And of course, employer groups generally resist any kind of expansion into how leave can be used, since it can mean more scheduling headaches.
Interesting. Funnily enough, I actually did have an old boss with a crocodile as a pet, and he lived in Minneapolis, which was even more crazy.
Okay.
I don't know
So
how a
not in the
crocodile
sewer.
survived there, but now New York isn't alone here, right? There's other lawmakers that are kind of sniffing around this idea.
They absolutely. I'm loving the puns. So yes, correct. New York City already has its own version pending, actually, which is Int 1089 from 2024, which would let employees use a city-mandated sick time for pets. One early draft even capped it at 3 days just for animal care. So it's like a sort of an extra 3 days there. Meanwhile, in Illinois, you have Senate Bill 1670. It's a little bit different. It would allow up to a week of unpaid bereavement leave after the death of a companion animal. So very different approach, but the same sort of theme, really, recognizing that your pets, as you've so eloquently expressed with your dog, that pets are family.
You know, I have wondered before if I can use my bereavement leave at work when my dog dies, but that's not happening ever. So I don't need to worry about that
Nope, it
because
will
he's
never
never going to
happen.
die.
Don't
I
worry.
never have to worry about it.
Never
So,
gonna die.
Yep,
Nope.
nope. Okay, so this is maybe a little bit paternity leave by another name.
Yeah.
What about internationally?
Well, if we look more globally, this is an issue that does come up from time to time. So Italy had a famous case back in 2017 where a university employee actually won paid leave to care for her dog with support from an animal rights group. In Colombia, lawmakers have repeatedly proposed leave after a pet's death, though they haven't actually managed to pass anything yet. And in the UK, there's no statutory right, but some employers do voluntarily offer paternity days as part of workplace culture.
You know, I really felt like I did need that when Benny was a puppy. I didn't realize that it was actually like having a newborn for a little bit.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's zoom out. How does this fit into the bigger labor policy picture in New York?
Well, New York workers already get 40 to 56 hours of sick leave depending on employer size. This bill doesn't add more, as we said, it just updates the menu of options. In that sense, it's incremental and not particularly radical. The limits, i.e. on lawful pets only, no special documentation are required, are designed to keep it manageable and stop it sort of being swallowed up by red tape. But it still matters symbolically, really. It reflects a shift in how lawmakers view the family unit and work-life balance.
Okay, so final question. Where does this bill stand now, and what are the politics of voting yes or voting no?
Well, right now, A791 is sitting in committee. If the city's bill passes first, Albany might borrow that framework. If the state passes first, it could set a more uniform standard up, so they wouldn't need the city one then. Politically, it's a little bit awkward, really. So who wants to be on the record of voting against a guide dog getting surgery? But the same time, opponents can paint it as frivolous when there are so many other really serious issues that the city should be addressing, really. So it's one of those bills where the optics may be as important as the policy.
Got it. Pets not so important as maybe some other things. I don't know. But okay, so we're going from family member to fur family. This bill could really redefine how New Yorkers think about sick leave. Stephen, thanks for walking us through the details and resisting the urge to make too many rough puns along the way.
Well, I was on my best behavior, but I will say this, if the bill passes, it could be the catalyst for similar bills elsewhere.
I was not on my best behavior. And this is why we love this podcast and the tone that we set. Anyway, thanks everyone for listening to Beyond the Bill Number. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us next time as we dig into another bill with big consequences hiding in the fine print. Don't forget to read this blog on BillTrack50.com.